I'm Sheila Brummer with Siouxland Public Media News. Memorial Day weekend means the first real taste of a new season.
We're getting out of the house more, being able to enjoy the great weather. But when we are able to go outside and enjoy nature in Siouxland, there are some things that we need to think about.
Water safety is top of mind for Amanda Monroe Rubendahl, critical care clinical educator at Mercy One Siouxland.
Because such a big part of the summertime, especially in the Siouxland area, is enjoying all of our lakes, rivers, and pools.
Monroe Rubendahl says first and foremost, people really need to know how to swim.
And that's not just thinking we know how to swim, but actually taking swimming lessons. Another important thing is to know your limitations. Some people know how to swim, but they're not strong swimmers. So knowing what your limitations are, that may include your physical fitness level or any medical conditions that you may have, can affect your limitations in the water.
And when it comes to swimming, Monroe Rubendahl says never do it alone.
If you can swim somewhere where there are lifeguards available, that's always the best idea. Or if you're going to be on a boat, even if you're not planning on getting into the water, you need to wear a United States Coast Guard approved life jacket appropriate for your weight and your size. A lot of parents will put the water wings, the little inflatable water wings on their kids, thinking that that's something that will help keep them safe. But those water wings are not designed to keep your children from drowning.
The Iowa Department of Public Health recorded 27 unintentional drowning deaths across the state in 2020. The CDC reports drowning the number one cause of death for children ages 1 to 4.
You take a second to answer a phone call, to look at a text. Maybe you turn your back for a second to put some sunscreen on one of your other kids, and kids can get into trouble just that rapidly.
Monroe Rubendahl also advises people to stay sober in the water and on a boat.
It's just as important to have a designated driver when you're out on a boat on the river or lake as it is if you're in your car on the interstate or the highway. So having that designated sober person, but also not drinking to excess if you're on a boat. It definitely decreases your inhibitions, can decrease your response time. So even if you're not the one operating the boat, it does lead to some safety risk for you.
And reducing risk also comes from watching water conditions.
Knowing that you're going to have river currents that you're going to have to deal with, or this time of year, pools, lakes, rivers, they're all cold, and swimming in cold water can affect how we respond, our bodies respond because of that cold water. Also, murky water like rivers or lakes, the water is unclear. You don't necessarily know what dangers are in that water. You never know where there's going to be a drop off, or even if you're just, even if you're fishing, you might kind of take a step or two out into that river to cast your fishing line out, and there may be a drop off or some type of hole there in the riverbed, and you may lose your footing and be affected by the current. If you're wearing a darker navy blue, black, brown colored swimsuit, it can be harder to spot you in amongst that water. So wearing brightly colored swimsuits when you're particularly in murky water is a really good idea.
Good advice for keeping us all safe this summer. For Siouxland Public Media News, I'm Sheila Brummer.